You will need a pen, fine marker pen, or a pencil. You can do it in either of those. And some coffee that's mixed up into various strengths, so either granules or instant coffee will work just fine. A paintbrush and some water in a jar, and either some watercolour paints with a yellow or yellow food colouring like we used last time. We used blue food colouring, but yellow will work too. That's all you need. Okay, we're going to draw the shape of the giraffe. We're going to try and do it in one take. I'm using pen, Ruby's using pencil. So we're starting on the left hand side and we're drawing a line, a bit wiggly, up to about halfway. And then we are going to put just above the line, it's like a heart shape, but it doesn't really dip in like a heart. It's probably more like a real heart shape, I would say. So it kind of comes down and up, and then instead of dipping into the heart, it's quite flat across the top there, like that. That's going to be his nose. Nice one, Ruby. Then we're going to add in the other side of the neck. You want to start wider and get thinner as you go up. So we're going to go back to the bottom of the page, and as we come up, we want to skim the side and come up to about here, leaving a gap at the top to put in his horns and his ears. So start at the bottom and come up. Stop about there. Nice one, Ruby. Keep going past the nose now. That's it. Good. Awesome. Now, on the other side, you're going to start at the edge of this big nose part, and you can kind of go a bit wiggly and out a little bit. It doesn't have to be a straight line. It can go out a little bit. Nice one. Okay, now we're going to add the ears. So from the side, the ears are like really long, thin leaves. So they're going to come up and out. And then we're going to do one on the other side. Same thing to the side, not too pointy at the end. Lovely. Now at the top we've got just enough room to put in those little horns that they have with the little tufts on the end. So you can have those in a little tufty bit. And then another one. Now, this is like an illustration style rather than a realistic looking giraffe. So we're going to just put in two little eyes. You can colour them black, or with your pencil you can do them grey. They're not huge. And then we're going to put in the nostrils, which I feel like are bendy teardrop shapes with the point at the bottom. Nice one, Rubes. And then he's got like this tiny little smile that just comes in from the side. Awesome. And there we have our two giraffes drawn out and ready to paint. Okay, so next of all, you're going to need some coffee in different consistencies. You can use coffee granules or instant coffee, and this one is the thickest consistency with hardly any water. Then I've got one with a little bit of water, so that's quite strong in colour as well. This one is a little bit weaker with more water. And then last of all, I've used some instant coffee in this one with lots of water, so it's quite weak in colour. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our paintbrushes and we're going to paint like we're using watercolour paint. So what we want to start with is the weak one. So if you dip your brush into the weakest one, we're going to go straight for his nose. So this one, you just paint it on and it's going to look really weak. Just a really gentle hint of colour in there. and you want to do it not all over, but right down to the bottom, and you can leave some gaps as well. It's going to look quite watercolour like by the time we finish. And then if you want to add a stronger bit of colour into parts of it, you can just, yeah, either of those, Ruby, are fine. You can just dab it in and it should travel in the water quite nicely, just like watercolours do. Hopefully you're using a paper that's quite strong, not too weak, otherwise the water will really wrinkle your paper. Lovely. Do you want to add any more colour to yours, Ruby, or are you happy? A little bit more?
Dark.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, it's time for the patches. So what we want to do is have the patches in different shapes and different consistencies of the coffee, so that we are able to just have a bit of a variety. So dip it in the darkest one and start down the bottom of the neck and paint the patch on. Now anytime you feel like you would like it to be a little bit darker in colour, just get a bit more and add it in, and it should bleed out into the water there to give it a little bit of more depth. Okay, we're just going to whiz through putting all our patches on now, so you just sit back and watch while we are patching up our giraffe.
Forget the day we met, your eyes so blue, me pressing through. I can't forget the day we met, your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a summer's day, hot and endless in a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love. My summer love, been waiting for you, my love. I can't forget the day we met. You looked so fly in your red Corvette. Your hair, your look, your everything. When I see it all, I knew that you were mine. I'm in love with your hair, your lips, your silhouette in the moonlight shine. With my love you won't ever be alone. My summer love, been waiting for you, my love. Completely a fool, been waiting for you, my love. Head over heels, I'm blinded by what I feel. My love is forever yours. You have my heart, you have my soul, you have my whole, you have my control. Love me tender, love me sweet. With you I know that I'm complete. I'm in love with the summer's day. For you I'd give.
So now we're up to the head. In the centre of the head we want to use the weakest one and just do a bit of a wash. Just spread it around from the centre, quite a large patch in the centre. Doesn't really matter about the shape. And then you can start to use the darker ones to do some quite small patches, because on their face the patches are a lot smaller than they are on the neck and the body. Some of them are almost like little freckles. And then you can head out to the ears, quite dark in the centre there, and then use your lighter one towards the edge. If you get little splatters of coffee or patches on your painting, don't worry, because that actually sometimes adds to the watercolour style. Sometimes our accidents are our greatest things that happen when we're painting. If you're like Bob Ross, you might say there's no such thing as mistakes in art, just happy little accidents. Okay, now you've just got to let it dry, and then we're going to be adding some yellow into those once they are dry. Hello, it's a day later and our giraffes have dried. The coffee is all nice and dry now. So the last part is we're going to fill in the gaps with some yellow paint or yellow food colouring, and then we're all done. So let's get on with it. Okay, so you're going to need some clean water and a paintbrush, and we're going to start by mixing the yellow with our paintbrush, and we're going to be filling in the gaps. And there you go, we're all done. Your coffee and watercolour giraffes. Until next time, we will keep you busy with lots of ideas. Next week it's going to be the big mouth fish. Okay, bye from the Creative Spark Studio.